Hello, everybody. We are here together with the wonderful Molly Magdalene. She is a dear friend and she has a huge inspiration to create change. And she's an innovator. And I feel a little bit like you are a bender of realities and certainly worked as an art therapist for mental health for many years. So a beautiful background of really deep empathy and um, truly connecting with humanity, because that is so important. Also a yoga instructor, and as you were telling me, that you're really working to support the soul of your clients, and you are a mentor and a guide and a spiritual teacher. So I'm super excited to be collaborating with you for a tour in Egypt. And yes, just wanted to invite you here and let you share your inspiration and yeah, what drives you, how it began within you to this desire to allow something through you, but also to be the one that holds the container for others to experience the magic of Egypt and all the magic and the mystery that exists in those beautiful lands. So thank you, Molly, for being here. I'm excited for this conversation. And yeah, tell us a bit more about your vision for this beautiful trip to Egypt.
Oh, thank you, Anouk. That was such a beautiful introduction. And I am so excited to be collaborating with you and all of your magic. And yeah, this whole trip that has come together between us. And yeah, like I think Egypt has been, on my heart since I was a child. Um, I remember looking at my mom's National Geographic magazines and seeing like the cover of the pyramids and some title about, the lost city of Atlantis. And I was like, well, yeah, of course Atlantis, is there. Doesn't everybody know that? Like it just felt like something that had always been. Um, I even bought my mom, and it's connected to the feminine. I also bought my mom for Mother's Day when I was really young. My dad took me into a jewelry shop and said I could pick out something for her. And I found this pendant of Queen Nefertiti. And I was like, that's it. That's what it is. That's what she needs. That's my mom. I always symbolized Egypt with these kind of knowings or deep heart feelings of familiarity. So when I had the opportunity to go last April, um, it was definitely a dream come true. And I thought it would stir up a lot of these kind of like past life memories that I've had and that I've had over, the years. But really, what it did was bring in this more kind of otherworldly, like ancient future timelines and these activations of more of like the star seed energy and lineages of the goddess and this deep connection to the goddess. And yeah, it was really such a powerful, beautiful experience. And I knew when I was leaving Egypt, I would be coming back. I would be coming back to share this with others because it's so important and so powerful at this time. And I've led other retreats, and I've been working with the sacred feminine healing arts and working with the divine feminine for 10 years, facilitating groups and circles and really just bringing in the love of this sacred feminine that always felt like it was missing, at least from my life. And the journey I was on, the experiences I was having, Even as, a therapist, I have my own trauma and my own childhood wounds that I was healing through, anxiety and depression and like high school childhood sexual trauma, and eating disorders. Like there were multiple things, through my childhood and in my 20s before I even started working on that. And the tools that I found that supported me were also the tools that I then, use with clients. It's kind of been walk the walk to talk the talk um, journey. And it was through the trauma healing and the art therapy that there was also this connection to the higher self, recognizing that when our body gets into this place of really it's the feminine arts, it's connecting to our creativity, our intuition, which we're all born with. Sometimes we just are told that we're not, or we get these creativity wounds in childhood. But any kind of expression comes from the soul, like whether it's movement, whether it's something on paper or through clay or the voice, like that is the soul moving through. And it's connection to the body, right? We're in the present moment. So it's connection to the body and that very embodied feeling through the senses. Um, and then connection to something that's kind of a higher view, or, our guides, our teachers, I just called them the light team for the longest time. And it was
Mhm.
through those expressions that channeling would come, or I mean, healing would too, and recognizing like this was alchemy work. Um, and so these experiences that I was going through, I was also holding space for other other people that were moving through very similar things, and seeing that okay, this isn't just a me thing; it's a we thing, and um, this connection back to women, holding space for women, was really powerful to work on that sisterhood wound where there was, maybe competition or feeling like mistrust or betrayal. And then knowing that these wounds come up to the surface to heal personally within us because we're healing this as a collective. So I started doing women's circles and goddess gatherings, and certain goddesses would just come through that, their attributes, their empowerment was really healing at the time. And I just got to know these different goddesses or different faces of the goddess from, different cultures and ancient lineages, and seeing how many are connected like back to Egypt is really incredible. It's just this divine lineage of this feminine frequency from Venus and Nana, to Isis and Hathor and Mary Magdalene, and such beautiful energy that needs to be felt. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love what you shared about as you arrived in Egypt, you realized that it was so much more about present, future technology or future sight or future intelligence. Although we are looking at the past, we think we're looking at the past when we get to Egypt, but we really have massive potential to upgrade our own technology, as you say, the body and be fully embodied in the soul, living a fulfilling life. Yeah, of endless creativity and endless uh, endless expressing the creation that we are. So the life force that exists all around us that is beauty, that is harmony. It's truly that wants to come out. So I love what you say that, any creative way, whether it's movement and dance and some kind of body work, and it's all part of the flow, as you call it, the divine feminine. It's you cannot be still when you feel it, right? It wants
Right.
to continue to be in this constant movement, constant flow. And absolutely, there are many temples in Egypt that have held so much for me personally, but I am so lucky to see so many people come through and witness them and how they transform from arrival to departure, and months and years later, they're still sharing and evolving that experience as they return home. So it's certainly very, very powerful. And I love what you shared about your childhood and remembering the connection that your soul has to Egypt. So I am delighted to be collaborating with you and to be in Egypt with you soon. So we're gonna put
Yes.
all of the details below. The dates are September 26th to October 9th, 2026, 13 nights. And we have um, a very curated, so it's not massive in terms of lots and lots of running around with suitcases and taking pictures in temples. It's very much
Right.
a curated experience where you very beautifully put together your desire to have people really be in their body. So yeah, let's talk more about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the transformation piece, 'cause that, transformation is such a, to see that and to witness that is probably one of the most powerful things. And even to experience it, right? To have those transformational experiences. Um, like we just don't give ourselves enough time and space to do that. Sometimes we can see change in over years, but I think with retreats, especially from what I've experienced and what I've witnessed, and what you were just sharing, what you witnessed is that it's this potent amount of space that you carve out for yourself, right? To a sacred location that you're called to, that other people are also called to at the same time. And I feel like nothing is by coincidence anymore. Like the people we connect to, the sites that we go to, like it's contract, right? It might be a soul contract before we even reincarnated to meet at this time, at this place. And what's so beautiful is that it creates such a sacred, safe container to reconnect to soul family, to do healing work that, has quieted enough, right? We're away from the daily to-dos and, the hustle and the family and the job. And we've carved out this time for ourselves to listen, to go within, to feel, to quiet the noise in order to hear through a different lens. And when we do that and then give that those feelings that are coming up or that experience that's coming up a voice, and the voice is, the movement, the journaling, the creative expression, and it's not performance. We're not here to like perform for anybody. So sometimes those wounds will be like, oh, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, that kind of story, but it has nothing to do with that. It's just making whatever's on the inside visible for you to see it or to feel it, and then it's able to shift and move. And that's a piece of it, right? Because these places will bring those things up.
Mhm.
For me in Egypt, it was the voice. That was a big one, was the voice. And I've had a lot of wounds around the voice. um, Speaking truth, I think those, the witch wounds come up, especially on these priestess activations, or the priestess wounds of when it wasn't safe to speak spiritual truth, when there was, yeah, I'm even getting a little when there was persecution for those things happening. Um, and so it can kind of stir those things up, but being trauma informed and having a trauma informed practice for over 2 decades. Sorry, there's noise in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but the garbage
No,
truck just showed up this time.
that's
Just
perfect because that's exactly what we're doing. We're just letting it all go. That is just the old
yeah,
story. So that's perfect. It arrives at the
yeah,
time. Let's just
right. Time
throw them in
time
the
to dump it,
dumpster.
release it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's what retreats
time.
hold, right? A place to release, a place to remember, a place to reclaim, right? Because anytime we are reclaiming a part of ourselves, which I call archetype for the age of light, um, at each of these experiences that I've had and went to with sacred site locations and solo travel, which is it's an initiation in itself if you've never done that, but it's so empowering. And knowing that that place will kind of shed something that no longer feels aligned to you in order to reclaim a part of you that um, is empowering and important at this time for, what you're here to do and, not just do, but that frequency that you hold to be the
Mhm.
frequency holder. And the wounds really are where we find the gifts. And I'm not saying at the retreat will all be wound work, but shadow work naturally comes up when you're reclaiming a beautiful part of yourself, whether it's your voice, your truth, um, your lens of compassion and understanding, or maybe it's your inner authority, right? Of um, just going inward
Mm.
to for your knowing or your spiritual gifts. As the oracle, we all have these oracular gifts. We all have an alchemal heart. We all have a quantum mind. We all have that inner authority figure. And it's just coming back to remember who we truly are. And a lot of clients will, and I'm sure you've seen this through the transformation, you don't come back the same person as who you arrived, and it's in the most beautiful way, like you get your wings, you find your wings. Yeah, yeah. So
I
divine feminine flow is really important to me. It's not a go 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 do type of retreat. We will do some amazing things and go to sacred temples, and we do have a schedule, but there's also integration time, somatic movement time, ritual and ceremony, because this is all a very sacred experience to come back to self, come back to the land, the sacred sites, and what you're really taking in, and how you're holding all that. Like you are the temple, just as you are visiting the temples. And we'll have time, even spending time in, the Nile and on the Red Sea, which is going to be beautiful, playful, joyful integration time, connecting with spinner dolphins,
yeah.
which, yeah, I know you said you're really looking forward to too, because that's something that hasn't been done before.
Yes, absolutely. So excited about that and so excited to bring back the joy. And I know that you particularly chose to have the part at the Red Sea first so that everybody had that time of literally just be themselves, right? And be in the
Yeah.
joy and playful expression of self, not having to carry so much of whatever is playing out in their life experience at home. And then to take that awe-inspired revelation of, oh, this I am and this I can be all the time into the temples, I feel is it's so timely. We are at such a I don't even have a word. I used to say a turning point. I used to say, I don't know. For me, I feel humanity has crossed threshold. There is no going back in terms of evolution, in terms of heightened spectrum consciousness, and the true reality that we see all around us is that people are becoming more conscious, becoming more present, and also ready to make changes in their life. So I love what you said about um, once we return from Egypt, we're very, very different. It's a bit like you left your shoes at the door and you went off to Egypt. When you come back, you try to put those shoes on and they just don't fit. They just don't feel like, they're you anymore because it is true, you change and I change every time I go to temples, not even landing in Egypt. But every time I meet with a temple energy, I am transformed and I am gifted with more. So there is always more in Egypt, and I love that this is going to be an experience for people to understand that there is always more. There is abundance in themselves, abundance in the gifts that they are, and it's really back to the frequency of the life force that I was speaking of. It's the
Mm.
constant spiral that is always giving, is always expanding, is always gifting. And if we live from that expression of ourselves and navigate through, life experiences, and yes, trauma is real. Yes, terrible things happen to humans while they're having a life experience on Earth. But everything and being a dedicated astrologer, I see
Mhm.
the purpose in all. I see the perfect harmony in the chaos in people's lives. And yeah, I just wanted to add that there because the transformation is real and it's powerful and it's something for everyone. And it's often not what you might, go to Egypt thinking, oh, I will dot dot dot. It's always like the magic and the mystery of Egypt that meets you just where you need, just where you are, just in the being of yourself. So yeah, thank you for bringing that and yeah, I am excited for being there with you and excited to meet all the people. As you say, you are the resonant field now, holding the vision and holding the dream of what this journey is going to be in Egypt. And as you create this field, all of the ones that are in resonance and are ready to enter this harmonic field are, they're just going to find you. So I'm very excited about that. And it is very true that souls meet souls in specific places. I have had many, many a time when a client will say, I have tried to get to Egypt, and every time I did, something happened and I had to
Mm.
cancel. And now I understand I had to come and be here now in this very moment. It wouldn't have been the same if I'd come before. So, truly
Yeah,
perfect timing.
timing. Yeah. Yes, the timing, right? The knowing. I love what you said about women being able to, reconnect, and Egypt holds that where you may come back, with this little stronger voice. You may come back feeling more strength. You may come back having more connected to your inner knowing. That there's a reason why Egypt has been calling you, why it's been something that's felt so familiar, um, why you see images or hear about it and you're like, oh, there's just that heart-centered pulling. And even with, dolphin energy, like that is such a healing vibrational frequency. People who who are connected to the ocean and connected to, whales and dolphins. There's this, they're heart healers. They hold a vibrational frequency. I mean, there's been research done of, how dolphins can swimming with wild dolphins, right? I've done, I think it was somewhere in the Bahamas and years back, and did my first dolphin excursion. Um, and but these were dolphins. I mean, they were well taken care of. They were, they were lovely. And it was a nice place, but they were still like in captivity, and there was something about that didn't set right. It didn't feel right. And being out in like their environment, right? Being with wild dolphins. And there's a very beautiful
Mm.
pod that's so sound that, Hurghada is known for, and, the Red Sea of these dolphins that, you're in their environment, and there's this frequency that, emits, that soothes the nervous system, that expands the heart, that holds vibrational healing. So, and besides, emits immense joy and pleasure and bliss, like just to have that integration time on a private yacht for, 3 days, is going to be so powerful,
Mm.
and such a beautiful balance. And we're going to be kind of integrating that into after we visited a couple sites. So we'll really have that time for integration, with the dolphins on the boat, connected to those sacred waters of Mother Earth. And um, before we have our final, I believe it's before we have our final private ceremony in the King's Chamber on the Giza Plateau and Saqqara. So we're starting like in Cairo, meeting together, and then we're all fly together, and start our journey in Aswan up the Nile, which is the original goddess Isis, priestess initiation path, and work our way up, to Luxor, and then finish in Cairo.
Yeah, apologies. I yeah, I remember there was a talk about doing it before. We're doing it after. Okay.
I
Yes.
think I think we wove
We're
it
in
somewhere in
between.
the middle.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, as since I said it was earlier, we are going to Aswan and then from Aswan to Luxor and then from Luxor to the Red Sea and then from the Red Sea we complete with the pyramid and the closing ceremony at Saqqara. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. I
Amazing.
know we talked about different,
Yeah.
schedules and what would work, and where it would be easiest to go connect to
Yeah.
the waters from the temples. And I think we were working out a few different scenarios.
And it's
Um,
always perfect. It's always perfect. And
yeah.
it's always room. This is another thing that everybody loves about um, collaborating is that we can move according to the energy. Within reason, we can move. We need to have permits. So we are kind of set a little bit on the term on the permit timing, but we can still move a lot in terms of what it is felt in the moment and how it and it does change sometimes. The energy guides us to different places. So it's open to that potential as well. Yeah.
And that's just it, we've put a lot of thought and time and energy and
Yes.
attention into this into this retreat and into this schedule in order for it to be the most enjoyable, the most pleasurable. And I could not have done that without you and your team and, all the logistics. And I'm so grateful that for this collaboration and everything you're doing for it. And to make it the best experience, right? To make it the safest experience, to make it the most fulfilling experience for the participants, for the people
Yeah,
coming.
absolutely. Totally my honor and joy to be doing this. This is part of my life's work, and you know how it feels when we are right there in the center of the soul. It is always exciting and always joyful and always gifting. I always feel a gift. There is always such a huge gift to be meeting people and to be, in your presence, certainly, and then in the presence of the people that you will attract. So very much looking forward to meeting and to seeing it and witnessing it as you guide your geometry really into the world and out from that little bubble that you create out into the world and what other people. I mean, it always amazes me how on return everybody's doing something amazing. Like there is a lot of activation and a lot of certainly transformation and a lot of inspiration. So if any of the people listening thinking of joining, please contact Molly directly. I will add all of her details below. And yeah, certainly if you are at that crossing point or a life cycle in your life feels complete, it's the perfect moment to be in Egypt. And I know so many of us
Mhm.
are in that transition of life cycles. And actually, the whole of humanity is in that state right now. There is massive events in the sky, astrologically, astronomically, only this month. So yeah, so do listen to your soul, everybody, when you listen to this, and contact Molly. And yeah, we look forward to meeting you. And thank you, Molly. Is there anything else you like to share?
I think we went through, the dates and the times. Yeah, like how to apply. I don't know if we want to like share the website at all.
Yes.
Um, I could
Yeah, you
I
can
could always.
share it and I will write it down as well below the video.
Do you want me to pull it up and do a screen share of it?
You can if you
Um,
want to, or you can just tell me or rather speak it. You want to screen share? I can do
if they
that.
if they want to see like a little bit of
Okay.
the like we're seeing a really beautiful, luxurious places, the 4 and 5 star hotels and
Oh yeah,
a little
absolutely.
bit about the itinerary. Um, yeah. Um, I could share a little bit about that if you want me to screen share real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. I have to send a request.
Yeah, done.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let me know. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just so people who are listening are aware, we will get in so many beautiful um, temples and see so many beautiful sites and places on the temple and the land as well as the sea. So as we were sharing before, that we will arrive in Cairo, and then you're meted and greeted and assisted through that to your hotel, and we'll be gathering that night to meet everyone and connect over dinner before we fly to Aswan the next day. So Aswan will have a private transfer by boat, which is a really beautiful way to get to our hotel, which has really beautiful views of the Nile. And we'll be having our first ceremony that night to really deepen into this initiation of the goddess frequency with a blue lotus ceremony. And then we'll be spending three days. 3 days. We'll be spending, how many days is it? Yeah, moving through the temples of Philae, which is goddess Isis, and connecting with the Nile. And we're also, as we move our way up the Nile, we'll be headed to Luxor. So we'll be spending three days, 2 days, I believe, in Luxor. I'm not sure on the
Luxor 4 nights. So
4 nights.
Aswan two
Okay.
nights and Luxor 4 nights.
Okay. Yes. So we'll be going to the Temple of Horus. We'll be connecting into a resort and spa. So there is some spa time also available as we're spending those days in Luxor. We'll be going to Karnak to see Sekhmet and Dendara with Hathor, goddess Hathor, the Egyptian cow goddess, the motherly goddess.
I'm sorry to interrupt there. Sekhmet is a private entry, so there is a lot of time
Yes.
to be with Sekhmet.
Yes, that's right. They've made that private now. So yes, we have our first private ceremony with Sekhmet, um, which is incredible. If you, um, yeah, the lion-headed fire goddess Sekhmet, to stand in the presence of this living statue, which this is the only one, I believe, that hasn't been moved out of its original location.
She
Um,
is intact and she is the only one who was never moved. And she is so powerful. Again, I feel so blessed and lucky that I can't count how many times I've been in her presence, and it is magical. I don't want to say too much
yeah,
because everybody will have their own experience, but it's
right.
so beyond just seeing a statue. I can promise that. There is
I,
some magic, some technology, some frequency that she is holding. Yeah.
agreed. Agreed. I've never experienced anything like it. And
No, I'm not
there's
shivers talking about it now.
there's just no words for
Yeah.
it. Um, and so yeah, I'm so excited that we have that carved out, like private time with her, because when I went, it wasn't private. So it was a little rushed, but it was still such an incredible and like potent part of my experience. I can't wait to see her and go back, as well as the Temple of Mut, which is also
Yes.
where Sekhmet as is, but there was really beautiful, heart-centered energy and frequencies around Mut that reminded me a lot of like Mother Mary and Kuan
Yes.
Yin. And she has very similar attributes to those divine feminine frequencies as well. So that one, she wears this like crown of cobras. So she's got this embodied Kundalini energy within her. But yeah, the feline goddesses really connected to this ancient lineage, starseed lineage for me. Not only Sirius, but like the Lyrans. So if that's any uh, starseed lineage that you've felt
Mhm.
drawn to, you're really, really gonna have such a beautiful experience with those beings. Uh, and then, yeah, Dendara with Hathor, and then the Valley of the Kings or Hatshepsut. Um, Depending, I know we were kind of depending to like what's open. There was some question with uh, was it Hatshepsut's temple, or was it the Valley
Oh,
of the Kings?
no, Nefertari's tomb. Nefertari's tomb is a
Nefertari's tomb.
beautiful
That's
place,
right.
but it has been closed. I'll check. I'll check. We are hoping that it will be open by the time we get there. It's been
Yeah.
closed for over a year now.
Um, yeah. So, again, fluid and flexible, like the
Yeah.
feminine. But it's going to be very beautiful experience. And by day
Mhm.
8, we will travel then after we've been up the Nile to these sacred sites and temples and had these activations and connections. And we will get to then integrate as we travel to Hurghada, which will be by private bus to our own private yacht, where we get to spend 4 days, 3 nights on the Red Sea with those sacred waters of the dolphins and the boat and the water. So play, rest, integration. Um, we'll do some beautiful sound ceremonies, water ceremonies, stargazing. I'm
Mhm.
really looking forward to this part. Um, Before we then continue to Cairo. So then we will wrap up in Cairo, coming back to our private ceremony and again to another beautiful resort where we will then have a sunrise visit to the Sphinx and then our private entrance ceremony to the King and Queen's chamber in the Great Pyramids. And then one of the oldest sites um, in Saqqara. So going to finish and wrap up this full retreat at this very powerful complex of chambers that has some incredible healing chambers as well. These big crystalline boxes for our then to be followed up by our evening ceremony. So really just getting I'm so excited with
Yeah.
the flow of this and let's see, and the accommodations are just incredible with where we have, oh, are they not coming up? Oh yeah. Um, the Jazz Resort. These are just really beautiful places. All food is included, all lodging is included. Um, all travel is included while you're in Egypt and on the retreat. Have such an incredible view of Philae, Temple of Philae, um, the Eco Resort, and then Kings Island and Luxor just is like a little oasis in Jollyville. So yeah, just so you can kind of see, and then the yacht
Mhm.
going to be really an incredible experience. So yeah, so that is the website, and on there's also there's a drop down window if you're looking at it on your phone. It's a little tricky to see, but there is a drop down window to see like um, accommodations and investment and who's taking care of you and what you need to know about it. There's also a place on there that you can fill out an application with your information and put in your deposit. Um, so yeah, and then once you do that, that gets sent to me and I will respond and we can set up a call to meet and to talk if you have any questions. And yeah, can't wait.
Wonderful. Yes, so exciting. Thank you so much for sharing all the images as well. I know that is a beautiful way of making it so real. Like
Yeah.
you do feel the energy just from the pictures. So thank you. Thank you for putting that together. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Me too.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And we need to mention we'll have a licensed Egyptologist medhat that will be, um, there as well. So just a
Yeah,
really beautiful team.
thank you. Yes, absolutely. We always work with, I have worked with MedHat for many years, and we actually need to do that in Egypt. We can't just arrive and bring a group. So we are following all the rules, so everything is smooth and easy. And as you say, we are well held, and we are curated. Is a curated experience. So all we have to do, all you have to do, and all your beautiful participants do is be and experience and deep dive into whatever is coming up for them. So it's a very beautiful time, a very powerful
Yes.
time. Yeah, all of those things, transfiguration, transformation, activation, embodiment, and then what will you do with that? And usually I have had many beautiful souls who have had um, new ideas, new projects, new inspirations, and they go home, and before you know it, they are running with it. So there is a lot of abundance, a lot of riches in the lands of Egypt. So super grateful to you, my dear Molly. Thank you for feeling the inspiration, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see you in.
Oh, thank you so much, Anouk. Yeah, and what you were just saying about, coming home with new energy. Um, when I came home from Egypt, like started writing because there just needed to be a place for that to go to integrate. And that book, the Egyptian Goddess Codes that I wrote with a group that I got really connected with there, that will be published here in a couple
Ah,
months. So birthing new
amazing.
experiences is such a true thing. Like it just not only do you kind of rebirth yourself, you just, yeah, it will come in with like what wants to move out. So it's a super exciting time, and yeah, excited for that book, and um so excited to have your expertise on this trip. And you've been leading and doing these groups for years there in Egypt, and I'm just so honored to have all your wisdom and knowledge, um, you know, yeah, available, and it's gonna be a wonderful time. So
Thank you so
excited.
much. Yes. So for all of you watching, feel inspired, and yeah, go ahead and message Molly. Thank you so much, dear. I will see you very soon.
Thank
Bye bye
you.
now.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.